Hey guys, welcome back to the Community Cares Podcast. I'm Dave. I'm the Executive Director here at Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet.
And I'm Chaplain Chaz Blackburn, and I have the honor of being the president of this amazing organization. And today we have a really inspiring story. And why are you laughing at that?
You know why I'm laughing. Not because of the story, but because you're trying so hard. Because this is episode 102.
Yeah.
You're trying to figure out, how do I make sure I don't say really special guest again?
Because I kept saying it over and over again.
I know.
People were like, well, everybody's special. Which is true. They're all
everyone's special. That means no one's special.
You got to leave this in here. Would there ever be a show where you're not making fun of me and starting out that way?
What? Never.
Yeah, that's the tradition. So anyways, we have a really inspiring, and I mean that, and encouraging guest who really has a powerful story. And we'll get into that a little bit later, but I'll let her introduce herself, and she's also one of our neighbors.
Yeah.
Our neighbors.
Yeah, I'm just a couple of suites down from the Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet, and I'm Natalie Stevenson, the Executive Director of Cancer Community Clubhouse.
Woohoo!
Cancer Community Clubhouse. That's almost as much of a mouthful as Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet. My goodness. What an awesome organization. We're really thankful that you made the time and you're able to come on. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So let's get into it. We're going to start with our sponsorships. There's two big sponsors that we have that we want to make sure to shout out. The first is Shelley's Hardware. They are an awesome neighbor here at the Greenbrae Shopping Center as well, and they are our sponsor, and thank you so much. You should check out for every bolt and nut, right?
Quite literally, right?
I know. I loved what Hunter Rand, he's running for Ward 2 over here, what he said about them. He literally spent hours in there trying to figure out the right bolt, and they were so gracious, and they got him exactly what he needed. And that's really what you want when you go to a hardware store, is to get what you need.
Plus they have some really cool just knickknacks like shirts and different gifts,
right?
And you want to support local, so definitely stop by there, support them. I always forget about them. I go to Home Depot or Lowe's, but
you don't forget about them now, do you?
No. Now I try to remember.
Now you try to remember.
And I was going to say, they help us out at the clubhouse all the time. They're making keys all the time for us. Shelley's is awesome. Yeah.
They're a great sponsor. They do a lot of good in the community. Shop at Shelley's Hardware. You'll be supporting Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet. Thank you guys so much for doing that. Our next sponsor is Spheron Consulting. That's where you can find what you need job-wise. They're local. Brian's a great guy. He's the VP over there. And what an awesome organization that really connects the employers to the to the people seeking jobs. Yeah. And it's such a cool resource.
We have a third sponsor coming soon, which can we announce or not yet?
I gotta get the logo and everything. I don't have it yet.
You keep doing that to me. I'm so excited. Like to
not yet.
These things.
Not yet.
Dave said no. So
pull you back.
I want to.
Oh, go ahead. You first. You first, Chaz.
I just wanted to say thank you to you guys for sharing our podcast and driving awareness, because even if you can't donate time and sort clothes or financially support us, you help those in the community hear about resources by just sharing the podcast, and we get to have great people on and talk about those resources. So thank you. Please continue to share those. We've grown dramatically. This is our 102nd episode, right?
Yep, 102.
Wow.
Last year we took a break. We don't take breaks very often. But last week we needed to take a break. If you want to look at what happened last week, it's on our Facebook page. There was a video, we posted it, and we had a huge back to school resource fair. I was hauling boxes back and forth from Sparks Christian Fellowship to here, and back and forth and boxes and lifting and tables and giving away clothes, and we gave away a lot of clothes, and it was a huge event.
I was so impressed with the amount. I think we had over 500 families come. That's incredible.
It was crazy. It was a lot of people that were there, and so thank you so much, Molina Healthcare, for partnering with us in that, and Sparks Christian Fellowship for partnering with us in that as well. So we don't skip weeks often, but we did because of that, and so we appreciate you guys continuing listening still and being a part of what we're doing in the community.
Absolutely. We didn't really skip it. We had like a fill-in episode.
We had a fill-in episode, but that's not a full episode, though.
We still got together on Monday, and we both were tired, almost fell over, and then we filmed that. So
I felt bad. We had a guest that day, and she was very gracious. I was like, I have to clean all this up now. It will be a long time till I'm able to do the podcast, and I can't have you be waiting around. And she was already tabling over here right next to Good Shepherd, so it wasn't like out of her way to come say hi. So I felt bad. Thank you so much for your graciousness if you're watching this. But I was dying by the end of that.
It all works out. Did you have a good little camping trip?
I did. We camped, we got away, had no service, and it was awesome.
I'm sure it was Natalie, correct?
Yes.
Natalie will probably share about self-care and overall well-being. It's important to take those breaks and get out of town with no cell phone service, right, Dave?
That's right, absolutely. And it's very important. So why don't you tell us all about what you're doing, Natalie, and why it's important for the community?
Yeah, sure. Cancer Community Clubhouse is the only local, ongoing, and accessible resource outside of medical centers and the cancer centers where people are receiving their medical care for cancer treatment, for people who are affected by cancer to come and receive additional resources to support them through their cancer. Yeah.
That's a beautiful organization for a very difficult topic. Wow.
Yeah, and I think it's something that people don't always think about as well. Just having the opportunity and community around people, and just being able to support those that are going through cancer, right?
Yeah, I work in hospice full-time, and we see it all the time, but I think a gap area is for those who are cancer survivors, right? And really that ongoing support.
Yeah, and I think that's what sometimes the general population, maybe if you've never been affected by cancer, or if you haven't had a family member affected by cancer, you maybe don't realize, you think that they go to the cancer center and get their cancer treatment, and that's kind of the end of it. But actually, cancer is a type of disease that affects so many things around us. It affects our employment and our ability to continue to work, and so therefore our financial state, and it affects relationships and friendships and the way that we relate to other people around us. I actually just had one of our participants say to me last week, nobody told me that cancer was going to affect my relationships with the people around me. And I think that that's why it's so important to help people understand that when you go through a cancer experience, it is affecting so many different aspects of your life, that having the support in the community to help with some of those extra things is really necessary. And because there are so many cancer treatments, there's, of course, we know there are more and more people being diagnosed with cancer, but there are more and more novel treatments coming out that can help cure people's cancers, or at least keep it at bay for much longer, which is what has landed us in this world of cancer survivorship.
Sure.
If there weren't medical treatments, we wouldn't have the amount of cancer survivors that we have now. But what sometimes people don't understand is the ongoing effects that the treatments have had on us, on our bodies and our person. So I could tell you a little bit about my personal story if you want to hear what's kind of behind the creation of the cancer community.
100%.
I was born and raised here in Reno, but I was living in Dallas, Texas for the majority of my cancer treatment. I was diagnosed with an aggressive stage 3 breast cancer when I was 34 years old, and actually found the lump in my breast when I was 32, and it went undiagnosed. They could not see it on the imaging for 2 more years until it had grown, and then it required for me to go through all the cancer treatment, that the max of the cancer treatment, the chemo, the radiation, a bunch of surgeries.
So you were doing the prevention work, and it still didn't get caught.
Exactly. I caught it early. I caught it almost too early that it wasn't caught on the imaging.
Wow.
Until it grew larger, which at that point it was kind of far gone. But one of the things with breast cancer is that a lot of the women end up on estrogen blockers. And I don't know about you guys, but hormones are kind of important.
That's true.
To everything, to our health and our mood regulation and pain and all kinds of things. And so I was put on an estrogen blocker at a very young age and really struggled to continue to take that medication. And so after I'd been through all my cancer treatment and I'm continuing to take this medication to keep the cancer away, it was really too difficult for me to continue on that medication. And so I made the choice to stop the medication that was preventing the cancer recurring. And 2 years after that, some women could stop that medication and be okay and maybe never have cancer again.
Yeah.
But for me, the cancer did come back 2 years later into my bone. It was breast cancer that moved into my bone, which is what made it stage 4 terminal condition, a terminal disease. And I was 40 years old at the time.
Oh my gosh.
My son was 15 by then. So that was kind of my second recurrence of the cancer, made it a terminal disease. So of course I'm 40 years old and I'm going, my whole life turned upside down. I tried to continue working while I was doing treatment for the stage 4 cancer. And I just realized there's no way I'm going to be able to continue in my career and be on this treatment. So I went part-time at my job at first, and then I ended up having to sell my home and left Texas, which is where I was having all this treatment, to come back home to Reno. So stage 4 cancer brought me back to Reno, which I'm so glad to be here. But while I was there, the important part of this story is that through my first cancer treatment, I was really, really struggling after the treatment. And I was telling my doctors, hey, I'm not doing well. Do you have a therapist I can talk to? Or what resources are out there in the community that can help me get through this?
Yeah.
And the first time around, it was like, well, I don't know, they're kind of like, well, we cured your cancer. What else do you want us to do? Well, by the time I was diagnosed stage 4, I was having, obviously it's very difficult to cope with the fact that you're going to be in cancer treatment through the end of your life and not knowing when the end of that life is going to come.
And I just want to add, there's a large element of grief there. Loss of normalcy, loss of certain aspects of your future, loss of relationships or what they used to be.
Yes. Loss of financial stability. I'm a single mom. I've been a single mom forever. So I've always taken care of myself financially. And then to all of a sudden have everything stripped out from underneath me, it was very difficult. So I was really lucky that when I was diagnosed stage 4, I did change to a new oncology team at that point. And the new oncologist, she said, Natalie, you need to go get connected with this cancer community that existed in Dallas. And I was honestly kind of upset. I was like, why did nobody tell me that this existed? I really needed this community 6 years ago when I was originally going through all of my treatment.
And you didn't know about it.
I didn't know about it. Nobody told me about it until that oncologist finally, said, you need to go be a part of this community. So I got involved with that community, and that absolutely changed my experience with cancer. I was, before the community, I was dealing with all of this on my own. Once I found the community, there were other women who had been in there and had been on the medications that I was now having to learn how to tolerate these new medications. And they would just give me tips. They'd say, hey, you are a stage 4 cancer patient now. You can't go and go and go and go the way that you're used to doing. You have to take breaks. You have to relax, give yourself some time to relax because your body just can't push through these things anymore. So having the information that I gained from the community, plus the camaraderie and all the other survivors that I was able to come in contact with, really just totally shifted emotionally my ability to cope with this disease.
Those are priceless gifts to somebody going through that. Wow.
So, I told you I ended up having to leave my career and sell my home, and my son and I moved back here to Reno, which I'm very glad, I'm thankful for. But when I got here, I started looking for that community. Now I know I need this community. Where are you guys? And I came up very empty. There was not a cancer community that had been strategically put together with, almost like a community center where people can go and there's activities and there are things that they can do to be able to meet each other and develop that camaraderie and then get support through their treatments also. So that was when I wasn't working and I just decided I can't let my life pass me by. Yes, I'm on treatment. Yes, I'm having to shift what my value systems are, what's important to me, where I want my future to look like. But I need to do something to make myself still feel valuable, even despite my life situation that I found myself in.
Wow. I just want to say I'm not I'm not happy for you for your struggles or trials, but I'm very, very grateful that you decided to turn pain into purpose and bring light out of the darkness, because what a blessing to so many in the community that feel alone or did feel alone. And now you guys are giving them a home to be able to come and relate to somebody who's walked in their shoes somewhat, to be able to give them those tips and just be able to support them emotionally. And man, that is so valuable. Wow.
Yeah. So we started out about 5 years ago, and we were basically just renting places in various spots around Reno and trying to kind of get people together. And then when we found out about the space right next door coming open, and we had done a decent amount of fundraising, and so we had some money. So I thought, for us to really get this whole survivorship thing going in Reno, we have to have this space that is a cancer community center, that everything, that somebody can walk through those doors and always receive support. So
it's amazing.
Yeah.
Just today, you might know her, but Tiffany Story, she's in the nonprofit world. She does the Easter egg hunt at the Boys and Girls Club. She's a part of CASA, Washoe County CASA, court-appointed victims advocates. That's not the right acronym. What is it? CASA, court-appointed
special ed?
Something like that. Probably special advocates. Don't kill me,
Way
Tiffany.
Way to go, Chaz. That was good. She's been on the show.
Oh, well, man, it's a happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
She just posted actually on Facebook today, and I'm gonna send this individual your way. There's a single mom with 5 children, and she's struggling with cancer, and she was asking for resources. And Annie Zucker gave the Children's Cabinet. I talked about the Reno Cancer Foundation for some financial support, and I will definitely send your community clubhouse, cancer community clubhouse,
yes, yeah,
to that individual, because I can't even imagine being a mom with 5 children and struggling to battle cancer.
So you're the founder of Cancer Community Clubhouse, right?
Yeah. So when I was here, I knew I couldn't do this by myself. And so my sister actually wanted to help out and make this happen. So she and I are co-founders. Michelle is a co-founder with me. And she does therapeutic work with us now. And she also does like our social media and our marketing and things like that. So, and then I do more of the business stuff. So I jokingly tell people, if you see something nice and beautiful and cute, Michelle did it. If you see something that is like lines of written words and numbers, I did it. Like our clubhouse is very beautiful when you walk into it. It's a beautiful space. I did not do that. Other people did that. But I put together the business plan and made things happen. Yeah,
It takes the village, it takes the community, all the different aspects.
Yeah. But I'll touch on a little bit about the different programs that we do there, because they are very intentional programs. There's a reason that we do what we do. And so much of it came came because of my experience. I was desperate to help myself. And so I went out and I looked at the research and I was like, okay, what can survivors do to help combat depression, anxiety, sleep disorders, cognitive dysfunction, relationship issues? What can we do to help these things? And all of it is under these beautiful umbrella points of mental health, fitness and nutrition, peer support, educational resources, and wellness practices. So the wellness practices like meditation, yoga, qigong, doing a sound bath. So I knew how to help survivors based on all of the research that exists in survivorship. How do we help survivors cope through their experience and then after their experience be able to get onto, you're never going to go back to your normal life once you have cancer because it's just that, that thing. But how do we get back to a life that is really meaningful? And what I like to say is a life worth living. When I was in the worst of my stage 4 treatment, I am still in stage 4 treatment, but when I was in the worst of it, I had so much fatigue and it was very difficult to keep up personal relationships and friendships because if you think about what is a 40-year-old single person doing? They're out, they're going out, they're having fun. What was I doing? I was asleep on the couch like 16 hours a day, And so my life was just very different. So I was searching for ways to help myself. And when I found that there is research out there that says how we can help survivors, again, I was angry because I was like, why did nobody do this? Why did nobody help me with this? Why did they not have this available to help me get through my cancer? And then I was like, whatever, I'm going to create it. So I created it.
Beautiful.
So you mocked my inspiring and encouraging beginning for the guest? I mean, she is literally our cliche saying, be the change that you want to see in the world.
Wow, call me out like that. Huh?
Yeah.
I see how it is.
Look at it, seriously.
I see how it is.
We're both like quiet, like staring at her over here because that's really
Beautiful.
Meaningful.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yep.
And it's not, I feel like my life experience led me to this point.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh my gosh, wow, that you're so great that you did this. You have to understand that it's not, we as survivors, we're not strong people. People like to say, oh, you're so strong, or oh, you're so inspiring. I'm like, I'm not strong, I'm not inspiring, but I went through something that was so difficult and life-changing for me that I can't help but take that experience and do something and help the other people behind me, and thank goodness nobody has touched survivorship. You could go to big cancer centers in California. They have some survivorship programs, but really survivorship, because like what I mentioned before, now we have so many treatments that are keeping people alive for longer that now we have to address survivorship. But 10, 20 years ago, survivorship wasn't even a thing because there weren't as many survivors as there are now. So,
well, go ahead.
What does your water bottle say? What is
my cancer
the tagline? Yeah.
Oh, hope and healing through connection.
I love that.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
The next question I kind of wanted to dive into a little bit was future and vision. Like, as far as the organization, where it's going, what's the vision? Do you foresee 20 of them throughout the country, or do you see, or are you guys just happy with where you are and maintaining and helping those in our community today?
Yeah. So I'm not really interested in expanding to get into other areas. What would be important for us is the ability to get into the rural areas. We know that there's a lack of support, especially in cancer care in the rural areas. So my goal is right now, we don't keep the clubhouse open all the time, but that really is because we just don't have staff people at this point. But hopefully we will grow and have a full-time staff person who can keep the clubhouse open. That way, you know, if somebody's coming in from Fallon or Fernley and they're coming in to get an infusion, they can still swing by the clubhouse and be able to have people there or a person there that they could connect with and at least be able to find out more about the resources. So we'd love to be able to take some of our programs out into the rural communities so that they have access. One of the things that we're looking at this next year is being able to get the technology to do hybrid. So how cool would it be if we have this mental health group and we have a PhD level therapist, a wealth of information, and if we could have it via hybrid, then people could tune in no matter where they're at and be able to access that therapist's information. So I think our expansion looks like expanding into some hybrid programs, getting out into the rural areas. We'll stay with Northern Nevada. There is a program similar to this that's in Southern Nevada already.
Good. Awesome.
So, yeah.
That's beautiful. Yeah, no, I think it's important work for sure, helping those that really need that support that don't otherwise get that, right? So I think that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Tell us more about you personally. Like, what's your favorite hobby? What do you do? Is this your hobby?
This is my hobby.
Are you no golfing? No.
No, this and cancer's my hobby. Cancer's my life. Cancer's my hobby now. No, I was pretty much a workaholic before I left my career. So
no TV shows you like or anything like that.
I get down with a couple of TV shows, but one of the things that you'll notice asking questions like that without me thinking of it in advance, my brain doesn't work that fast, so I couldn't even tell you what TV shows I'm watching now.
Oh, no worries. No, it's okay. We always try to ask what other things our guests do. So
it's my son.
I was just going to say you're a mom.
Yeah, I'm a mom.
That's beautiful.
My son's 22 now, so he's more like a man.
He'll always be your baby, though.
Yeah. We went down to Hot August Night, so we had a great time together. And, you know, I think those are the things that kind of, and of course, my mom heart breaks for my son, right? My son was raised in my cancer treatment his whole life. His mom has been in cancer treatment.
Wow.
And not to mention the potential to lose his mom to cancer, which is the great part of the story, is that with the treatments that I started to receive, I moved back to Reno. I was continuing to receive treatments. I still am. And I have been what they call no evidence of disease. They used to use the term remission. Oh, you're in remission. And people would think, oh, you don't have cancer anymore. But cancer comes back so easily and quickly. So, but my treatments are keeping the cancer at bay, which is very exciting. So 6 years after being diagnosed with a terminal cancer, I'm still alive and I'm actually cancer-free today.
That's a beautiful story.
What's your website?
cancercommunityclubhouse.org. And on the website, it's really easy to kind of go through. It shows each of our 5 programs, gives details for people like me who want to read all the details. It shares about what the programs are. It shares these are evidence-based programs that we're doing. You know, there is research behind them that they are actually helping survivors. And of course, we have firsthand experience with the people that come through there.
You can't buy that experience either. How can people support you? Obviously, financially is a big one. Are you accepting any volunteers, or do you ever have volunteers like to help run the clubhouse?
Yeah, not necessarily to run it. Just mainly because a lot of our support groups and things like that are very private and confidential, so we don't bring in a lot of volunteers for that sort of thing. We do seek volunteers. Well, like today, we had a volunteer cleaning day, so we do have volunteers come in to help us keep the clubhouse clean. Obviously, having it as clean as possible all the time is best for people in weakened immune states. But we use volunteers for that. And then when we do events and we do fundraising events and things.
Well, if you could tell, so if someone's listening and they have cancer or are a cancer survivor that's in remission, and you could tell them one thing to encourage them, what would you say to them if they're listening?
Get connected, find the community. Even if the community isn't CCC, you know, other people find a community. For example, there's a group of dancers that put on an event called Dance for Hope. It's a fundraising event for us. But this group of dancers, there's several of them that have gone through not just breast cancer treatment, but other types of cancer.
Wow.
And these dancers have created their own little individual community with each other where they're finding that support that they need. So I would just say you need to get connected in the community. And part of the reason that we do such a wide variety of programs is because there's almost something for everybody. We do an art program where, you know, sometimes people aren't even talking about cancer at the art program, because what you find when you come into these groups, all of us have experienced cancer. And so we don't have to go and retell all the trauma and what we've been through. We all just know this, like, hey, you're dealing with fatigue, you're dealing with this. Like, we already know it. It's just part of our lived life. So then we're not having to rehash our story. We're able to live within this new setting.
Yeah.
And so people, you know, I have a story of a young woman who was really in the depths of despair. She had a baby and a 2-year-old child, and she was diagnosed with a triple negative breast cancer, which is really scary because those are very hard to treat.
Wow.
And she tells the story of laying in bed day after day, not being able, she went through all of her treatment. Her treatment started to look up cancer resources and found CCC's website and just put it on her phone and put it in front of her. And she made the brave decision to show up and walk through these doors, not knowing anybody, not knowing what she was going to experience, what this was going to be like. And she even said, I wasn't sure if I was going to walk through that door, but I'm so glad I did. So she walks through the door. She comes to a Coffee Connection support group, and she will tell you now her life is forever changed just from that one action of bravery that she walked through the doors of a cancer space. And so what I would tell people that are listening is, if you are struggling in any way, a lot of times cancer patients and survivors, it's difficult for them to really be able to have some of these conversations in their homes and with their families. But you come into the cancer community and we're all just talking about it openly. And so it's like nothing is taboo there.
It's
and
freeing.
Yes,
It's gotta be, you know.
They're like, oh my gosh, you're dealing with that too. You're dealing with that. And once they realize that they are not alone in this, it just, that one thing just fully changes their experience for them. So
Connection matters. Wow.
that woman has gone on to, she came to me and she was like, Natalie, this community changed my life and I have to give back. And I don't want any other young adult to ever be in bed for as long as I was in bed. What can I do to help? And I said, you know what? I'm no longer a young adult. Young adults are considered 18 to 40. I aged out of that. I did have a young adult cancer, but I've kind of aged out of that. And I said, I know our young adults need a space where they can all be together. And so now she's heading up our young adult program.
Wow. Talk about powerful.
Yeah. And her life is forever changed. And she'll say it and she tells it to everybody. Just walking through the doors and knowing that I wasn't alone changed my life.
I think that's great. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for being here. Is there anything you want to add? Some final thoughts or anything?
Oh, for me?
Yeah.
Like Chaz?
Oh, no, I'll get to Chaz. Don't worry. He has lots to say. We'll get there.
Pretty speechless to me, actually.
Whoa.
No, I would just, it would just be an open invitation for people to reach out, to become a part of the community.
Yeah.
We're open and accessible. We do have some gentlemen who are coming on board. We have a lot more women, but we do have quite a few men who are participating in everything from our fitness to our mental health programs. So be brave. I'm an easy person to get along with, and you walk through the doors, you're going to see a smiling face, good vibes, and just an excellent community to be a part of.
All right, Chaz, any final thoughts that you had?
You definitely have a welcoming smile, and I just want to say thank you for having the courage to step up to help start this movement locally. And I'm excited. I had no idea that you guys did all of that. So I can't wait to get the word out. Please share this podcast so that we can get this out to people who really need it. Those who are struggling and are cancer survivors or family members who want to be able to encourage their loved ones who are fighting the good fight.
And where can people give to you guys financially?
We're on PayPal and Venmo, and of course on our website we have a direct link.
We'll tag you
Awesome.
guys for sure
Great.
on the Facebook post.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. If you guys feel led to give to this, please do so. Great organization that's doing a lot of good in the community. Yeah, definitely be a part of it. And if you know anyone that doesn't know about this resource, that may need this resource, share this show with them, share the resource with them, and get people connected. Because honestly, we are better together, and we need to be connected in the community. We really do. Community is so vital for us. It really is. To have other people. One of the reasons the volunteers volunteer here a lot of times is I've heard volunteers say, "This is my family. That's why I'm volunteering here. That's why I give away clothes here. Is because this is my family. That's why I'm here." And that's why that community aspect, that purpose, the driven purpose that you were talking about earlier is so important. It really is. Just to be a human being. Like sometimes I can lose that. Sometimes I gotta re-grasp it, re-remember. Oh, why am I doing what I'm doing?
Wait a bit. You love the connection with me every Monday.
It's so great. Best part of the week. I'm just joking.
That was a little sarcastic.
No, not me. Definitely find community. I mean, if you take anything from this episode, find community. You need to find community. Talk with other human beings. It's so easy to get into, what does Netflix call it, the show hole, right? Where you're just kind of like, you watch a whole series of shows. I think we've all been there, okay? We watch a whole series of shows, and then we watch every episode, and we get to the end, and we're like, we feel empty inside because we're like, did I waste all my time
What's next?
watching shows? But now Netflix has that thing where they suggest the next show for you. They know. They know you're going to have that show. So what they do is, okay, this is what's next for you. They feed you that. But it's great to be able to relax. It's great to be able to have time to ourselves and recharge. But sometimes we'll replace that with community. And that's really scary. That's really scary to replace that with community that's so needed for us. It's so needed for us as human beings. So thank you for sharing it. Thank you for doing what you're doing in the community. It really means a lot to me, and that's awesome. Thank you. All right. Well, if you want to find out more about Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet, visit getclothes.org. All that information's there on how to give financially. We really do need your help financially to move the needle forwards and to continue keeping our lights on and moving forwards and doing what we're doing. We do want to say a big shout out to Shelley's Hardware for sponsoring the podcast, and also Spheron. Spheron, are you a business in Reno searching for top talent or an individual looking for your next great career opportunity? Look no further than Spheron Staffing. As local experts in recruitment, Spheron understands the unique needs of Northern Nevada job market. They connect qualified candidates with leading companies, ensuring them the right fit every time. Whether you need administrative support, light industrial staff, or professional hires. Spheron takes the stress out of staffing. Call or text Spheron today to find out more. 775-829-8367. Text? You can text Spheron?
Nice.
What? That's pretty cool.
Well, text Brian. What's up?
Text Brian. Hey, Brian, what's going on? That's weird. But yeah, thank you for our sponsors. Thank you for you, the listener. The only reason we're doing this is because you're listening. So we talk for 30 minutes a week and you listen. So we appreciate you. This doesn't exist. Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet doesn't exist without the supporters. So thank you. We have a lot of supporters who give $5, $10, $20 a month. Without you guys, there's no Good Shepherd. We help over 800 people a month, no matter what. We're asking you to come alongside and help one. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week.
Take care.